Welcome, welcome. Running a little late. I need the little thing that goes. Welcome, welcome. I didn't get it in that part. Welcome, Baba.
Remember that after the show, so we just came up with that about 2 minutes before the show.
Okay.
So
and we're not. He's not kidding. Welcome, welcome everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. So happy that everyone is joining us today. Sorry we are running a little late. Well, I was on that CP time this morning, but that's okay. I think it's really across the board. Everyone has that in their culture. The CP time, it's whatever time, everyone has it. But anyways, welcome. I was talking to Jeff earlier in the week, and I said, I kind of want to just come on and do a live about dispelling the myths, that we hear about the motherland. And the reason being, I can recall years ago, and I know you probably remember when we first started traveling to the motherland before it was popular. Right now, it's hot popular. But that's good. I'm glad it finally caught on and people are really interested in going, especially people of color, African Americans, African peoples across the diaspora. They're really interested. And so it's really an exciting time. I say it's a renaissance. It's an African renaissance. People have connected with the motherland again. They are interested in it, the culture, the people, the food, just everything. They're just interested in it. So, anyways, I said, well, I want to do this live, Jeff, about dispelling the myths about the motherland because there are still some people who think that these things take place. And I'll just start it out, or some of you on the chat may want to put some of the myths that you've heard. I don't know, but I'll go ahead and start it out with one that gets on my nerves, and I know a lot of brothers and sisters on the continent. When they say Africa is just one place, I'm going, it happened in Africa. And then you said, well, where in Africa? What country? I don't know. It just happened in Africa. So I know that that's one that it annoys me when I hear people say Africa, because Africa's huge continent with 54 countries, or 55 if you go that route, but that's another show for another day. But what's one that you hear a lot? And I think
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's a common one that
right.
people think of Africa as a country. Matter of fact,
Mhm.
I've heard politicians refer
Oh,
to Africa as if it's a country.
country.
So an example is
Mm.
something can happen because I think one of the crises that happened was the Ebola, and it
Yes.
was actually contained in three countries of Africa,
Right.
probably no more than maybe 60 million collectively in Africa. And you got to keep in mind, Africa is a continent of it's moving towards 2 billion people. I mean, it's over 1 billion,
Right.
and then it was. So what I'm saying is, no matter where you went in the country, people felt like, oh, you must have got Ebola
Ebola.
or something.
Oh God.
So because they were so ignorant about the geography of the continent.
Right.
So, but yeah, that is one you hear a lot. Africa is a country.
Okay. Right.
And
Right.
so if something happens, like somebody could get kidnapped, and they say he or she was kidnapped in Africa. You know. Okay. Anyway.
That's true. That's true. And it's like, but that's the one that really bugs me. It happened in Africa. It's
Right.
like or it's like, well, which country? Because each country is uniquely different with many languages within that country.
And that moves
Uh,
into like Africa is unsafe.
yes.
So that whole idea of it being a country moves into the country is not safe, the country of Africa, which is all
Right.
ignorant because it's 54 countries, right? So something can happen in the DRC,
Mm-hmm.
and it's when the news media get on there and say, and in Africa is war, and
Right.
Africa,
Right. It's
I'm
like,
saying,
where in Africa?
we've seen this sitting in Ghana, Botswana,
Yes, we've been on the continent.
South
Yes,
Africa.
yes,
While
yes.
we're on the continent, we're looking at American media, and we're going, what the. I'm
Heck,
sitting here having a great time. Say doors open, sleeping unlocked.
true.
What's going on? So that
Yeah.
that Africa's a country feeds into Africa's unsafe, which
Right.
is a whole ignorant thing that is spread throughout the United States
Right.
and
So
around the world, actually.
true. True. So we just felt it was important to come on and just dispel some of these myths that people have, and that's the next one. Africa is only for volunteerism or safaris. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. Hopefully I release it today. I'm actually doing a video on Chobe National Park. So uh, Africa is known for safari. So that one is not a myth. I just think that people, if you don't like safaris, you tend to say, "Oh, But I happen to be a nature lover, and I love safaris. Okay, so yeah. Okay, let's see what Steven says. He says people take bargaining in our markets in Ghana as a scam. You know what? Mhm. What they should do is they just learn how to bargain. It's not a scam. All around the world, culturally, people in Dubai, what was that? Dubai, we were in Dubai, and they bargain there. People bargain everywhere. It's part of the culture.
Right. Actually, it's the culture in most of the world. It's just that part of the West has created, there's the market, you go to a store, and in a store you can't bargain. But even here in the United
Right.
States, you'll be surprised that you can bargain. Like sometimes I know I've been to a store and you go and you see something and the packaging is kind of ripped. The management has the power in some stores to say, okay, well you can get that for $10 off, $20 off.
True.
So there's bargaining, hidden bargaining in the United States.
True.
But it is very common in Western Africa and Ghana especially. So that's
all
one of the
over.
myths, of course.
Yeah, all over really. But I tell you what, no, it's not a scam. But people, that mindset is there. I agree with you. Let's see. Bonita says, "Thank you. We have a lot to learn. I want to." Yes. Okay. And you're welcome. Welcome. We yeah, that's just part of it, is that people, they put Africa into this big monolithic, like one way, and it's just not true about the continent. Yes, we've gone to do a lot of well, actually we partner with schools in Ghana, West Africa, and then also we have done work in Uganda and Botswana last year, and Rwanda. So yes, we, our focus is on schools, is supporting the schools, because that's part of our nonprofit, and that's what we've done for many years now. So it's just, something that we do, but it's not that Africa cannot take care of its own people. It's just when we go, that's been on our heart to support. That's part of what we do. So thank you for your comments. And if you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for comments, and share with everyone so that we can, help to break up these myths. Oh, and my dog, sorry. Okay, we have another question. Hello, please. Let's see, what's the question? Do people scam you? You want to answer that one? Do people scam you?
Um,
Here in
well,
America?
let me
Yes.
answer this way. When people find that you're ignorant, they're going to scam you anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you go to the continent, uh, people are going to try to get more from you than they would their native brothers.
Right.
And that's sort of the same thing here. I'll give you an example. When we have gardening done, we have gardeners who drive up, and we may have had some work done, a tree cutting or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody will come and they see we're in the neighborhood. Uh, how do I say this?
This is a nice
We're
neighborhood.
in a neighborhood where there's a lot of wealthy people. Now we're not them,
No, but what they
but we
doing?
just happen to be on, right near that in that area.
Right.
So no, we know prices. So people will come here
Mm-hmm.
and they'll quote us a price much higher than we know the going rate is.
Right.
So is there scams here in the United States? All the time.
Right.
And is there scams in Africa? Without a doubt.
Right.
And that's why you ask questions before you go. That's why you try to get information.
True.
Because the first scam you're going to get is when you leave the airport and you get the taxi. That's the first scam you're going to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to, once they hear if your accent is not native, and I'm not speaking of any particular country,
Right.
because matter of fact, within the continent of Africa, country to country to country have different accents and different dialects.
Mm-hmm.
So they know right away that you're not from that area. Right. And they all of a sudden they scope you out real quick. I mean, they see kind of how you move about, how you dress, how you talk, and they quickly size you up and start to give you a price. And then of course you can call it a scam. In actuality it is. But the more education you have, the better off you're going to be. And then you can negotiate, because that's part of what we do.
Right. Okay. So well, that kind of leads to the next question that we hear a lot of people worried about, and that's the cost. You need a lot of money to travel through Africa, and that is not true. You do not need a lot of money to travel through Africa. The most expensive, to me, is the airline ticket on the continent. Getting the ticket, right? And depending on where you're going, sometimes I tell you, right now is the time to book. I know that if some of you are afraid to travel during the pandemic, oh, I love dogs. I don't shake.
Well, thank you, Melanie.
I
I
know
think I
that.
remember Melanie from. I think I
Okay,
remember her,
yeah,
but
let's talk about our
anyway.
dog. Look, okay, yeah, Dolce. Dolce needs to go outside and not bark. But anyways, that's the most expensive is the ticket for me because once we're say we're traveling to Botswana. So the airline, when we traveled, we were able to get a nice price. I think one way was maybe 687. This was maybe 2 years ago, because we just book like that. I don't try to go through. We don't need travel agent. You just use Booking.com, Kayak. You're able to get some really good rates. And like I say, right now we're looking at flights um, mainly to Northern Africa for as little as I think 380 $86. That's one way. And the reason why we travel one way is because we're going to country hop. We're going to go to different countries while we're there because we don't believe in just flying to one location and staying there. But once you get there, it is not that expensive. It just depends on your taste. Oh, wonderful. How was Nigeria? And I know you had a good time. I know you have Abuja, which is a very wealthy area. You talk about wealthy areas, Abuja. Okay, and it's others. It's others. But people just need to know that. We need to dispel these myths because there are lots of people who still don't know about it. They just see Africa as the next one. I'm going to keep talking.
Right. And good thing about Nigeria, what people don't know, the most educated um, people in the United States, educated people who
Wonderful.
are from outside of the United States.
Hmm.
People always think it's one group or another, but it's actually Nigerians. They're the most
Okay.
educated, and they
Hmm.
usually have the most wealth here in the United States because they're the most educated.
Okay.
So that's something that people don't know. Just a little nugget to throw on to you.
Right. Right.
And the richest black man, richest black person in the world of African
Is
descent is Aliko Dangote. And he had brothers from Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Got more money than Oprah. Who else got some money? Black got some money
Uh,
right here.
uh-oh.
Ben Johnson got
Oh,
more money
I'm like blank on it.
got more money than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's a billionaire,
He has a lot of
multi-billionaire.
money.
Good Lord, that dude just like make money.
Jay-Z, what is it?
Yeah, more money
Jay-Z?
than Jay-Z and
Yes, he got
Beyonce
some
together.
money.
But anyway,
Oh,
I
okay,
just wanted to
okay,
throw that out there.
okay. So we have a question here. We have a bunch of questions. Thank you guys for these great questions. Do you need the vaccine? What countries can American go to? Okay, right now we did a live a couple of weeks back on this. Right now, the IATA, which is international travel, it's not, they regulate all the travel. Okay. They're trying to come up with a travel pass, which will allow you to put this on your phone if you have the vaccine, the COVID test, and all of that. Right now, they are not requiring that you have the vaccine, okay? Because a lot of people, it's a lot of pushback. I don't know if you're aware, it's a lot of pushback. And the pushback is not just in the United States. People all over the world have pushed back. So the airlines want to make that money. So I don't think they're ready to just say, oh, vaccine, because you can take a COVID test. And that you do have to do. Most of the countries now, we traveled to Ghana this past December, January. We had to take a COVID test to enter. When we left going to the Gambia, we had to take a COVID test. So they're asking you to take the COVID test. It has to be within, it just depends on the airline and the country, within so many days, I will say. Okay. So,
And keep in mind that the rules are constantly changing. I
yes.
mean, you have to check all the time
Please check.
because restrictions get loosened, and then all of
Mhm.
a sudden there's a big scare about some variant, and then restrictions get tighter again. So it's you always got to check.
Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm seeing the place that Latanya went to, Banana Island.
Okay, I'm gonna go there, and
Okay,
based on your
you gotta
recommendation.
tell us, yes, about it. And yes, it's much wealth. That's what people they don't know. I had to that's why we have to kind of share people want to know. And when you go and just immerse yourself in the culture, you're there in the country, and we love to go local. We stay local. We visit some of the attractions, like of course we would want to go to the pyramids of Giza and that type of thing, but we will go local. We take local recommendations because that's when you really learn about a country and their people, when you break bread at their local establishments. That's when that's how I love it, and he does too. He can talk more to that.
Right. You have to get off the grid because sometimes I'll give you an
Yes.
example of getting off the grid, and I'll make this real quick and get to the next myth.
Mm.
We went to the Gambia, and where we stayed was sort of a high tourist area.
Yeah.
So people knew, when they saw us, even though they see us and we look the same, they once they kind of scoped us out.
Right.
There's a lot of ways they can scope you out. But anyway, they people put on their big. People would try to charge us more.
Right.
People. I mean, it'll be all the little things that people do, and not just.
But we call them out in
right.
love.
Right.
We call
But
them out in love.
and the reason I'm saying getting off the grid, we went off the grid and we went to one of the fishing villages in Gambia.
Yes.
And there's where not a lot of tourists go. Matter of fact, tourists hardly go there.
Right.
And we happened to be there, and nobody was begging. Nobody was trying to scam us or anything because they were not used to the tourists being there. So they didn't have their game down.
Right.
So that's part of the reason you kind of go off the grid, because you go off the grid. People don't have that game like in tourist areas. People got their game. They got their what they're going to say. They know how to scope you out.
That's right.
But when you go off the grid, they're not seeing as many tourists. So they're kind of amused by you, and they're kind of a bit more fair. They're not. They don't have their scam game down. So and you get to have a little bit more original experience. So anyway, I'm done with that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Listen, thank you, LaTanya, because Melanie's question, she asked what vaccines, and I was not thorough. For most African countries, you must have that yellow fever vaccination. Okay, that you need. And I see Melanie put the typhoid. You do have to check for vaccines. I'm so caught into the COVID-19, I forgot to tell you that. Yes. So thank you, LaTanya, for that. That yes, you do have to have certain vaccines, and the one that you need in most African countries is yellow fever. You must have that. Now, her next question is, how much money are the COVID tests abroad? How hard are they to find? Okay, you'll take the Gambia story. I'm going to say what happened in Ghana. I'll take the easy story.
Okay.
So when we were in Ghana, and we were preparing to travel to the Gambia, we were able to find they have testing centers there. Okay. However, we called one location, and we had our friend Michael call. And that's another good thing. It's good to have connect with people locally and make friends, someone who speaks the language. I can't press that enough. Connect with people, make friends, because Michael had our back. And what happened was he called to inquire about the COVID testing. So the man he spoke to told him one price. And then when I called back, he gave me the American price, or the Obruni price, right? Michael, he said, and he that was it. He said, no, we're not going there. So my point is, in Ghana, they had many clinics where you could go. And I think we paid for the two of us.
It was $80 a piece in Ghana, and it
varied depending on where you went. $160 US. But when we left here, we didn't pay anything.
The arrival price in Ghana was $150 each
per person. Thank you. That's what I'm leaving out.
And that's when, because you're a captive audience at the airport, and you can't get out the airport unless you have that test.
Right.
So you have to pay it. You there's no negotiation.
I told y'all it's a money grab right now.
And then once you get into the city, into the country, then
Oh,
you can actually start. Then the
mm-hmm.
prices start to become more local
Right,
to the local community.
right,
So
right,
we were able to get $80 because there was a time frame we had, and we had to go to a
right,
specific clinic.
right.
But I think we could have probably found something cheaper if
Mm-hmm.
we had time and waited,
Right,
because they
right,
catered more to local people.
right. But yeah, actually that's true because that area was I think located East Lagoon.
Yeah.
So you are correct that they are definitely because East Lagoon is a it's a wealthy area in Accra. You have a lot of foreigners that live there. So it drives the prices up. So Jeff is going to tell you answer the
I'll
second part.
yeah, I'll
Are
be.
they hard to find? Because I was took
Are
up a
the
lot of
tests
time
hard to find?
in certain
And
countries.
you got to keep in mind there's different development levels on the continent. So Ghana is a bit more developed. So actually, you can go on the internet, you can go their apps, all that sort of stuff. You can actually find that, in Ghana, and it's clean facility, everything. And then we went to the Gambia. First thing we did, we looked at the embassy. We looked at the embassy site because that's where you kind of get it from. You
Mm-hmm.
looked at your internet. Gambia is not as developed.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, the embassy said they may or may not have tests for you.
It did, and it was
and then
true.
and then when we finally ran to some places there was no answer to the phone. There
Mm-mm.
was no response to the email or text or whatever. And
Mm-mm.
we finally found one place, and they gave us a location. We ended up going to the location. There was no one to be found.
Right.
So
It didn't exist.
so,
You know
so
why? Because it's not an issue there. They're not having they have not been impacted in the way that we have in the US and Europe and all of these other nations. They're just not. So it's not an issue. And they're keeping their country safe too, because they're making sure that before you or I go, that we have that COVID test, and
right.
and I applaud them for that because they're taking care of their people. Uh, True Americans can afford beautiful homes for less. Okay,
True.
I like what else. Okay, I like Latanya. Thank you for your input. She says, I stayed silent and let someone I hired pick out what I need. But once you're discovered, oh, yes. Oh, yeah, it's true. If we go there, Americans, if we learn to, or European, but I know definitely for Americans, because we tend to be loud and talk a lot. If you just do this sometimes and just listen and take things in, you'll do better. Because that's the one thing I would always tell people I loved about traveling on the continent is that I could just close my mouth and watch and just blend in, just blend all the way in. But the moment I open my mouth, and when we were traveling, said 10 years ago, a long time with our kid, especially when Obama was in, I said, Obama, Obama, America. Some people had never seen Americans. I know in Namibia, when we visited the Himba tribe, they had no idea. They thought we were what's the tribe that they're closely related to? I forget the name, but it'll probably come to me at the end of this.
Yeah, but they thought
Uh,
we were a neighboring tribe. They didn't
uh,
know anything about people from the United States, African
right,
Americans. And
right.
I'll give you another place too. When we were up in Uganda near the Sudan,
Oh yes,
when
where the
we were
lady got kidnapped.
right,
That's not funny. I'm
well,
not
she was
making that.
kidnapped more closer to was the DRC
Oh
or
yeah, yeah,
something,
you're
right?
right. She was
But we were up near
Sudan, up near the
Sudan,
Sudan.
and
Hmm.
I remember going up to a person in a store, and she was uh, asking me where I was from, and I said United States, and she thought I was lying.
Hey.
She had never seen a black or African American
Hmm.
from the United States. She swore I was from Europe. She and it was interesting because you will it's still there. I mean,
Oh yeah.
go visit the
Thank
continent.
you.
There's still people who are unaffected by Western culture,
Yeah.
and
Oh, thank
there's a
you.
lot, they will speak enough English to it,
To
because
communicate.
to communicate, unless you can learn one of the native languages. But
Right.
it's really fascinating, some of the people, um, their pure way of responding to you when you get
Okay.
off the grid. And you're off the grid, like I said, they're amused and fascinated and very helpful. When you're on the
Hmm.
grid, meaning that when you're in the
That
metropolis, when
hustle.
you're near the airports and stuff like that,
They
you
gotta
know, the
make that
game is
money.
on, the hustle is
It is
on.
on
That's when
strong.
you have to be on your game a little bit, or you need to have someone, your confidant,
Right, like
to be on your
Latanya
game.
said,
Right.
right. You have to. You have to, and stop getting angry. Some of these people get angry and they go on and do a tirade about I got this and I got that. It's hustle all around the world. We were when we visited China, thank you Lord, before the outbreak. This was what, 2018. The cab driver, as soon as we opened our mouth, and we had friends there that spoke the language that was speaking to him, but lo and behold, he looked at us and said, "Oh, America, that price." Because we were going quite a distance from one province to the other, but that price shot up. So it's just a worldwide thing. It's not just it's not just African continent.
Right.
It's even here. Okay. Oh, the vaccines are hard to find in Lagos. Tell me this, Latanya. Are the people? Is it? Uh, are they doing poorly there with it? Is it really? Because I haven't heard too much out of Nigeria about it. So you can put it in the chat since you're just coming from there. Oh yes, Ethiopia is fabulous. In Tanzania,
Mm-hmm.
we've traveled to Ethiopia and Tanzania many times, and still can't get enough. It's so much, and that's one thing that I've done videos on Tanzania. You know, when you visit there, you want to give yourself enough time. You know, if you love coastal, you love the beach, they have some of the most beautiful beaches on the face of the continent, hands down. We stayed in Nungwi for about maybe 7 days. Then we went to Arusha to see all of that other good stuff. Yes, the safaris. I love going on a safari because it's beautiful to see God's animals walking around. It's the best to me, hands down. Yes, we plan on doing it. That's been our commitment. Uh, I can remember, and then I'm going to let you do your next myth because I'm talking. I can remember, Latanya and everyone, years ago when we first started going, before it was popular to go, this man commented to me, hmm, or that's strange. I don't view Africa as a vacation destination. And I just said, really? Oh, that's too bad. Now, after that, after we first went, we just kept going back, and it's just enriched our soul and enriched our business and just enriched everything. So do the next point because I'll just talk, talk,
Right. So
talk.
yeah. So the theme is the some of the
Mhm.
myths. So I'm going to give you this one. I'm going to group two together, and it's kind of fact. It's a factoid and a myth. It's both together, and
Mhm.
it's like all the leaders are corrupt, and Africa's poor and always will be poor. So they're kind of combined because
Mhm.
um, many of the places where the leadership is corrupt, you will see the greatest poverty, and you'll see
Yes.
a lot of desperate type of
Latanya
people.
just said it too.
Hmm.
Lagos City, it's poverty stricken. Yeah.
Right.
It's corruption
And
too.
uh, and
Mhm.
where the leadership is not corrupt and
Mhm.
their resources, keep in mind, and
Yeah.
there's no warring, then you will not see as much poverty. You will not see the standard of living we have in the United States, but you will see some of it. Don't it there You will see people living uh very, very expensive, very high, just like here.
Oh yeah.
And you'll see middle class and you'll see poverty in the
Mhm.
areas like in
Mhm.
examples like Ghana, like Botswana,
Yes.
other countries you'll see
Yes.
uh you'll see upper class, middle class, and you'll
Yes.
see some poverty and they're developing. But
Mhm.
anyway, I said that because all the leadership is not corrupt,
No.
but a lot of it
A lot of
is.
a lot of it
A lot
is.
of it is, and the thing is, leadership across the world is corrupt. I mean, if you
Oh
dig in the
yes.
bowels of the United States, you will find
Oh,
corruption. You
yeah.
follow the money trail, it'll lead to a president, a senator, or House of Representatives.
Some dirty
You
hands.
know,
Some dirty
yeah.
hands.
So anyway, but the corruption there sometimes is based upon a mindset of things are going to be taken away. So here's one I heard this from a person who was in politics in Africa, and he was explaining that the leadership there, once you get in power, you don't know how long you're going to be there. You know that it can be a coup. You know that they can storm the building and take it away. So what you do is you grab all you can and you send it everywhere because you don't know how long it's going to be. And then when it's your time, you go live. You go live somewhere in Europe, United States, whatever, and you live well. But when the system is not corrupt, you don't worry about that. But that's what it leads to. The leadership kind of does that. So I don't want to go on about that. But that's part of the myth, is that all the leadership is corrupt. Not all leadership is corrupt. Some is. Not all the people are poverty stricken. A lot are.
Yeah.
But you can see so much difference once you visit the continent.
Yes. You know what? Aguava to Africa Rain for joining, and Aguava Isaac for also joining. So happy to see you. Okay. So yes, we see that to me the beauty is that people live together at all levels. Okay. You have the people, wealthy people living not too far from the village. So it's a great respect. That's why when you go, connect with the people, connect with the local people, because the government is not, how can I say, the what the local people do, that is what you take away from the experience. The government is not the experience for me. I don't know about you, but it's like not for me. What about the churches? Well, we did visit, we did go to church with our friend in Ghana this past visit, and it was a very large church in Accra. And as a matter of fact, before I attended that church, I listened to some of the sermons online from Pastor Duncan. I think, yeah, is the name. But it's a huge church. It's actually larger than our church here in the United States. And there, it just depends. It just depends on where you go. Yes, the government is not involved. I try not to focus too much on the government, because we really can't say too much, because we have dirt in our own backyard, like when we're coming here. So why do I want to be involved with the government? When we travel, I want to know more about the people, and the people will tell you what they think. Because a lot of our friends in Ghana, we talk about our countries, and we talk about their politicians, and it's funny because some of the politicians that we don't care for, they actually like, and vice versa. So getting in with people locally, that's the most beautiful thing, because you can share ideas. Oh, okay, I'm at work and can hardly keep up, but I will watch later. All right, welcome. Yeah, you gotta be like this at work. That's why each week I come on Sunday, because I'm not at my day job, but I love connecting with everybody. I see some new faces on here, and you are welcome, welcome. Okay, and I'm happy to see the returning people. And Africa Rain, you probably can't say anything. Thank you. You probably can't say anything because you're at work, but if you have a minute, you can put in the chat some of the African myths that you've heard. Like one, I don't know if I've already mentioned it, is that Africa is uh, dirty, and what did they say? I lost someone, that it's full of diseases. Okay, I think we talked about that one a little bit up front. That's not the case. That's why people are so shocked when they go and they see places like Abuja, but then, like Latanya said, in Lagos, yes, there's poverty, but I'm gonna keep it real right now. If you go downtown LA, west, far west of where we live, it looks like crap. Okay, it looks like crap. It looks something worse than the third world country. So yeah, that's what we need to start to talk about. Stop
Right.
pointing
And
the finger.
now one thing I want to add to that is
Amen.
and I'm going to tell you, and this is in many of the corrupt countries, actually in many of the countries in the developing nations,
Mm.
what you see is this uh, governing class living high on the hog, and you'll see a lot of poverty.
Mm-hmm.
In California, you send more and more of that same thing.
Yep.
So California is more and more functioning like a corrupt country, a corrupt developing nation. Because you just drive around Los Angeles, their most populous county, and just look at the homeless and the poverty, and like every time I go to Los Angeles, I just look because we live in the suburbs. I go to Los Angeles, I just say this whole city needs a bath.
A bath. Oh, God, it just stinks. It's horrible.
It's and the governor and the mayor, they all slick and dressed up, and they make so much money. People in government make a lot of money,
right?
And they're making more money than people in the private sector.
Mm-hmm.
When you start to see that those are signs of many of the third world developing corrupt countries. So I see that here in California, and you see it as you drive along. Okay. They're driving out the middle class, moving out to all other states, and then here in California, there you have the rich class, all by the ocean, all by the beaches, and then you have the poor just living on the streets, and I can go on, but I'm done with that. But I'm just giving you an example of when people start to say things about countries on the continent, that if you just take a deeper look in some of the states that we live here in the United States, you'll see a similar pattern.
True. Oh, you are speaking truth. I'm let me put I saw where Latanya says she's making friends and she plans to go back every year. Once you make friends, you have a family. It's no longer friend. You have family. That's the one thing. We always feel welcome, no matter what country we go to. We feel welcome. We haven't had one anybody in that say go away. They ask, how come no one is coming? We need to see more of you. What did Latanya say? Nigerians have the most beautiful feet. Okay. Okay.
Quite an observation.
Okay. LOL, I'm working some double hours to get on the continent. I buy a home in Kenya. Ghana was too expensive for me.
Yeah, Ghana. What depends on where you buy in Ghana.
You gotta get out of Accra.
If you want to live around a lot of people, like in Accra, it's the prices are going up because Ghana it's one of the target places that people are going. But if you going to Kenya, some of the other countries, like I always say, like people, one of the things we in the United States, we like to stay by the beach, by the lake, by the water.
Right.
2/3 of Africa is by the lake, water, and everything. So you got a lot of places to go.
True, it is. But yeah, Ghana is more developed. It's very developed. Okay. Last week we talked about Twitter is going to be have its headquarters in Ghana. So Ghana is definitely a rising star in Africa. I remember one time we were in Rwanda, and I commented. I said, "Well, in Ghana they don't do that." And so the man at the airport said, "Sister, Ghana is a very developed country." It's very developed. No, it's like, show you right. Okay, so Isaac says, it's like everywhere in the world. In the U.S., you'll see all class of people, even the disabled. Yes, and it's the same thing you have in Africa, except Corona has limit. Except that Corona that is limited. True, because Africa is not really affected by it, thank God. You know what? It's a good idea. You're on the right plan. You're on the right plan, Latanya. That's what we tell people all the time. You can build a home like Africa Rain is doing in an African country, and when you retire, you can retire like a king or queen. Okay, and that's just the truth of the matter. So I asked a gentleman to get someone to come with me to Kenya to help me in my business. The man said people eating People in Africa. Okay. Oh, that's one
People
of the myths.
eating people. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that means I should never go because I know
With
I look.
all this
Yeah,
yummy.
I know I look tasty. Look real tasty if people are eating people.
We both shouldn't. That's
Yeah.
so ignorant. But
Yes.
people,
So
yeah.
there. Yeah. That is
Mm,
now that
mm,
one.
mm.
That myth I thought may have went away.
Uh,
Cannibalism.
wow, no, it hasn't.
But
It
it
hasn't.
no, it's
Peop
no.
It hasn't. It's another one too that people talk. But you have yours.
Right.
It hasn't. That's why we're on here. Because even though right now I said it's the hottest trend among African Americans, among other Africans around the world to travel to the motherland, you still have people saying, "Is it safe?
Right. Now,
Is
I'll
it
give you an
safe?"
example. People eating people. I don't know. You remember this story a few years ago in Florida where the man was high on bath salts and he was biting the face. He was naked, eating the face of another man. They filmed that. That was story. Now,
I
I
didn't
think
hear that. That's gross.
I know it's absolutely
Oh,
gross. But I'm just saying, if you're on the continent of Africa, or if you're in any country, you're sitting there in Botswana and you look at United States media and see some, and if man happen to be white, that don't matter. But I'm just saying, and you looking at this man eating another man's face in the.
I see some funny
I
ones.
mean, I mean, it's not a story for you. Like in the United States, people eat people. But they actually had film of him, and it's pretty gross. I'm sorry to bring up that story, but
That's
people
disgusting.
that it is disgusting, it's
You know
gross,
what?
but I'm saying that was really people eating people.
You
So
that's
this
gross.
that businessman should not go to Florida. Don't do business in
Right.
Florida.
Tell them don't do business in Florida. Okay,
Because
that's what you
people are
tell them, honey.
eating people there.
Okay, and Jeff have the video to
Right,
back it up. And
right.
that's so disgusting. Do you want to take this question about your band or no? Or you want to
Uh,
do your thing first?
yeah, I'm going to take it. Let me just go to a couple
Okay, we're
other
gonna get
myths.
to it.
We'll keep on a
Just
little bit
hold
of
on,
time.
you guys.
So
Keep
I'm
on
going to run
adding.
through two real quick. One is says they say they're dangerous animals. People think they're dangerous animals just roaming the street. Like you might just be walking to your local grocery store and you just get eaten by a lion.
Someone
Oh,
did say that.
no, 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 no. Most of the villages and places, they pretty much, first you got to keep in mind the animal nature is not to live among the people.
Right.
It will come into the people's village and it
Right.
will, and these, I'm saying village, these are not urban centers. These are not like
Right.
in Accra, Ghana. This is not like in certain parts of Botswana and
And
Namibia
Legos.
and Lagos.
Right.
We're talking about when you go out into the bush,
Right.
you will have people, you will have animals roam in there, but they don't stay. And then
Right.
you go to Botswana, they have a problem with
With
elephants,
elephants.
and the elephants will roam into the village. And
Right.
but
Because they have a lot of
but
elephants.
in terms of driving down the street and just on your general day to day, no. But you can see animals really quick, really fast, national parks and so forth. And the other myth I'm gonna take on is Africa, there's no technology there.
Oh wow.
Now all you got to do is go on YouTube and look for Africa, someone streaming live,
Right.
and then you
You
ask
have it.
yourself, do they actually have technology? This person here streaming live in the village. Yes. The Maasai, if you go to
Oh
East
wow.
Africa,
To
the Maasai is
Tanzania
walking there. He's
and
got his
Kenya.
headdress and his robe, and
Okay.
they're beating the cows and they're walking, they're living day to day, and all of a sudden
They start.
they pull out a cell phone. And matter of fact, they're in a lot of ways, and I'm not going to go deep into this. In a lot of ways, they've leaped ahead of us in technology in ways they use technology.
True.
So that's for another story.
Yeah,
But anyway,
that is.
but now what's the question?
Will JTG Legends Band perform in Ghana?
Yes, we're working on the performance in Ghana, and we're going to invite everybody to come out, come to Ghana when we perform, and hopefully it'll be in July sometime.
Okay, yes, Nigeria is emerging. Africa
Right.
is rising as a whole. Now, that's when I will say, put it as one. Africa is rising as a whole. They also said they live in huts. Starvation is in Africa. They're gonna work voodoo on us. Did I mention LA? Did I mention it's people on the streets of LA living in tents? I think I think people need to worry about that and stuff. Because the huts, let me tell you, when we go to the different villages, like in Namibia, you know, all over Uganda, those beautiful mud hut homes that they're talking about are beautiful. Okay. And I don't think anyone, especially if you're in California, better point any finger talking about a hut,
Well, I just want to know if
especially with downtown LA, because their huts in the motherland look better than these things. People living in tents in Los Angeles. It's sad.
yeah. So I just want to know if they're gonna are they when they kill us off, are they gonna
With
eat
the
us?
voodoo.
Are they gonna eat us? I'd like
Okay.
to be eaten. I'd like to be useful if they're gonna kill me. Be a
Okay.
snack.
You need to stop being more than a snack.
Okay.
I have to laugh at that. Okay.
Another myth here is that it's hot all the time in
Oh,
Africa because
oh my
most of the
gosh, that's
media show
true.
people some in the
True.
desert
And it's
sweating, hot,
and
hungry with
dusty.
flies flying around.
Right.
Uh,
Um,
Go
you
to
know,
South Africa if you think it's hot all the time.
yes, go in June.
Right.
Go in June. And also not only South Africa, go to Botswana
Hmm.
in June and July. Don't take your coat. You're gonna die because it's cold. At night it dips to just cold. So yeah, that's the video that I'll be showing. I need to make sure I put that in there because I'm doing one on Chobe National Park. And when we went to Chobe, it was in June near July, and it was very cold. We were on. They had to give us blankets on the game drive
Hmm.
because our jackets were not sufficient to keep us warm. So that is a big myth that it is always hot and dusty. I know where we live in the valley, it gets hotter here than some locations that we travel to in Africa. I don't
Hmm.
see any guns. I saw fist fights. So refreshing. Okay, you
You
know.
know, one
No, what you going to say? Go ahead.
well, I don't know. That's interesting because I know in West Africa, I think our first time going back in 2010.
Hmm.
You some of the when you hear the accent and the people talk, I told you not to do that. I
They
told
get
you not to
loud.
get off my boat. I mean,
It's
and in
loud.
West Africa, they can get really
They can get
loud and very
loud.
cantankerous. And it was always like this fight is about to break off. I remember there was an accident on the freeway. I mean, on the road, and
Uh,
people got out and they got out their cars and they got out
yeah,
and they were just. I
just
was like, oh God, it's about to fight.
right.
But
Because because in here in America, pow, 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 pow.
no, they most of the time I we did not actually all that time we have not seen one fight. We've seen a
No.
lot of heavyweight yelling matches.
Yes.
I mean, like whoa,
Heavyweight. And then they go
and
their
then
separate way.
right, and the other thing with the yelling matches is it's sometimes there's a winner. One sometimes one guy is convinced that he or she usually it's a he is wrong and they back off and it's kind of surprising and it's actually like she said refreshing.
Oh yes, it sure is. Thank you for that, Papa Bird. God help you for open people's eyes now. Yes, to know the truth. God bless you too. That's our aim. You know, people need to know the truth. And it's coming out. We just have to speak up, not be afraid to speak in truth, speak in love, and just share that information, right? Don't think about okay, I know you told me each time. You personally for me,
Right, and all
we
those places
don't.
we've been to.
Right, we don't. Yeah, we don't. You should think about Cape Coast, Suyani, Prom Prom, and so on, which you can find rivers. Yes, this is true.
Exactly. Oh, let me say this. Keep your
Go
thought.
ahead.
It was one of the things that we been thinking about because we're going looking at getting property. And we saw some beachfront property and we saw some lakefront property,
Hmm.
and they're both beautiful.
Oh yes.
One of the things that about beachfront is that salt, you're gonna have a
Up.
heavyweight time of maintenance,
Yes.
maintenance, maintenance,
Yes.
maintenance.
Hmm.
But the lakefront don't have the salt, and it's just
Hmm.
as beautiful.
Yes.
And that's an idea. It's just that you mentioned the lake.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Volta.
great.
We've been looking at Volta area too. As a matter of fact, when we were there in December, we met a lady who is from the UK. She didn't give us permission to show her property, but it's quite lovely. She did a fantastic job, built a nice home, and she built a couple of cottages. Um, Along Lake Volta, and it's just a prime spot. But when you enter the property, it looks like that it's probably not going to be anything. And then once you get down the path, and it just opens up to this beautiful. So yes, we think beyond that, but it's funny. People will always say that it's too expensive in Ghana. And so we have to just let them know that if you are in Accra, Accra is a metropolis. It's a big city.
Right.
And it's expensive because it's a business hub, and a lot of foreigners live there. So that
And
drives
it's
the
kind of,
price up.
some people have associated with like sort of like the New York of Ghana,
I know
you
I
know.
do. Yeah. God bless you too. I know I do.
Let me
I
hit a couple more myths, and
Okay.
because I know
We
we
have
we have
some.
a dinner or a lunch
It's
appointment, so we want to.
my mom's birthday
Okay.
today, and my auntie's
Oh,
birthday.
and the mom will
Happy
go. You
birthday!
have the. Oh, you don't have a book. Next time we'll have
No.
the book.
Yeah, I have to show you that she did a book.
Okay, so here's the one. It's a whole bunch more, but here's one that uh affected me when we first went. And it's like the myth is that Africa always needs your help and they don't do anything for themselves.
Wow.
And that's sort of the myth you get from in the United States.
Right.
And one of the things that I got from when we first went back in 2010, this guy was, he was he was a chief of the village,
Hmm.
and he was saying it was nice that Americans so forth come and build wells and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Highly grateful of that.
Right.
But he said what's more important is if you just trade with us,
Hmm.
you know, economically,
Yeah.
because that is sustainable. And that is how
Hmm.
many countries have developed. And I always think about how China was 20 years ago. Like, you everything you thought about was China from China was cheap and whatever. But now you go into any store, go on Amazon, go into
Hmm.
Walmart,
Yeah.
go, these are the biggest manufacturers in the world.
True.
And you're not going to be able to get anything that's not made in China. And that's what makes China like the second, sometimes they're considered the first, but right now the second wealthiest country in the world. And that's through that trade. And
Yes.
that is where people were saying that's where we need you to work with us with
Oh yeah.
trade and doing things
Doing
that are more
business.
sustainable, doing
Right. Doing
business.
business.
And we appreciate the wells, we appreciate the gifts, but sustainably,
Ex.
we're going to need you to trade with
Hmm.
us.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's why we always bring insight of what businesses are available. And actually, well, this was a couple of lives ago, we talked about agriculture.
Right.
That is the hottest business to start. That is a wealth builder, period. Agriculture. Okay. So that's something to think about. And maybe that's something that we can go into at a later time. I see what Africa Rain says. She says America put on something on Nigeria 2 days ago that must, oh, yeah, not travel to Nigeria, and we
Yeah.
must stop it.
A travel alert.
Rwanda, yeah, Ghana is 100%. You know what? Now, Jeff will correct me about conspiracy, but it's not conspiracy. It's just that um we're many of us are gravitating to the continent now. We're awake. We woke, however you want to put it. And yes, there are travel alerts that I noticed too that are popping up. And you know what? Latanya on here just said she just got back from Nigeria. So you can't be distracted and worried about that. They're putting different levels up. We were closed last year in June. I've never seen that before in my lifetime of travel, that you shut down the ports where you can't leave out. Now it's more, I feel money grab and a control issue. I don't know what others think about it, but I do. I think this thing of saying don't travel, because that's popping up a lot, because they feel, oh, Americans want to travel again. Everybody around the world wants to travel again. And so, yeah, it's popping up. I think it'll keep, yeah. In Nigeria. Okay, let's see. What we must have missed something. It's a conversation. Just stay away from the bad areas. That's
Exactly.
true. That's in any country. Just like LA, we stay out of certain parts of LA. Okay, it is true. Oh, the ancestral call is not about your money, but is for your life and personal rights. I agree. And once you go, once more of us begin to return to the motherland, you receive a peace. You receive a peace, and it's a healing. And that's why you do need to go. It's more for your peace of mind.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. True, true. I mean, we believe in speaking truth. Not every place is safe anywhere to go to. And I would just say for that, that's when you need to be connected with, you have friends who know the the landscape, or however you want to say, they know the language, they know how to maneuver, say, especially if you want to be in Lagos. It's so many different places to go there. Mm, of course, there's a richness all over the African continent. Did you hit all of yours?
Yeah,
Did you
I
hit
could
all of
go on.
yours?
There's a whole bunch more,
It's
but
so much.
but I know that we have
Yes.
to attend.
Oh, what is this one? Wait a minute.
What's it?
From Irene. Should see rent African travel. Do you know about Jiggerbig? You know what? I did see that. Um, I don't know. It doesn't look kosher what that person. But I don't know so much about them, so I can't really speak to that. I saw something that was placed a couple of weeks back about that. So there's always people doing fraudulent things, and that's one of the things Jeff had mentioned earlier, is that people will act like, I think I even mentioned it too, that Africa needs them to do these things. So you have people that are running scams, like they're
Hmm.
taking the monies. It was a comedy skit about it, I think, on Saturday Night Live,
Hmm.
when a person was in the village, and the people in the village were like saying, making these remarks to them, like, oh, you need to pay our money and such, that is. So there really are different scams. So it says, have land, and the second highest point in the village is called Ifon. Oh, in Ikiti State, Nigeria. Building a home now.
Ooh,
Yay!
so we
Congratulations.
know where we're gonna go when we go to Nigeria. We
Okay.
know where we
We
stand.
okay, sis. We need to have you on. If we didn't have to hop off of here, we would have you on. So you know what? It looks like maybe we need to continue this next time and spin it in a new way. Tell us in the chat what you want to talk about next week. Before we get off, we really appreciate you all being on today, and it is just, wow, we just love you. This is a beautiful thing. So tell us either what you want to hear next time, or you can email me at LALA African Travel and More at Gmail, and it's in the description. So we're gonna get this music on here right now, and go ahead and get off, because it's my mama's birthday today, so we have to I have to get to to take care of my mom. So I just want to say, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. May your week be full of joy and peace and love. And until we do it next week, okay? So, you're gonna play us some music on
Right. And
out?
remember, Mother's Day is coming up. Go check one of our sites. Get your mother's a Mother's Day gift.
Oh yes.
Authentic African stuff that we had designed and made
Mm-hmm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
various countries that we visit. So do
Amazon or
that.
our websites.
You have the links, right?
Everything,
Okay.
everything is gonna be up.
so this is something I came up with today.
Make it step up. It's the same one. Hey.
Okay.
Hey. All right, now I'm going to read this last one and be off. The Bible says, "Today, if you hear my voice, don't harden your heart." So I say, if you hear the ancestral call, don't harden your heart. Amen and amen and amen. You don't want to harden your heart. You want to answer that call. Okay, so we'll see y'all next week. Have a wonderful week. We love you. Thank you for all your support. We cannot do it without you. Okay, bye.